Hi everyone, welcome back to this channel. Today we're going to cover the Scottish accent. So the Scottish accent is infamous for being very hard to understand. Even sometimes I don't understand people from Scotland. The general reason why this is because they have their own language called Scottish Gaelic, and they have their own dialect of English called Scots. And sometimes they mix the two. So you can hear some Scots when Scottish people speak English, and sometimes it's a bit hard to understand, and sometimes they just don't pronounce things clearly. Probably the hardest to understand is the Glasgow accent. So I'm not a complete expert on Scottish accents. The one I do is just general Scottish. I believe it's closer to Glasgow more than anything, but I'm not exactly an expert. It's just general Scottish. Alright, so if you want to talk like this, or you want to understand what people are saying when they talk with a Scottish accent, this is the video for you. Okay, so this is another accent with basically only vowel changes. Most of the consonants will be exactly the same as in British English. The main difference between consonants in British English and Scottish is there's a strong R sound. So say for example you have the word right, right. It's not really pronounced in British English, right, right. It's almost like a rolled R, like you would have in Spanish or Italian or something like this. Right. Or great. That was great. So you can hear the R sound in Scottish English, whereas you can't do that in British English. Okay, now we get to the vowel sounds. So the first vowel sounds we have is the I sound, which is in words like sit, give, hit. So this kind of sounds very similar to the sound in English. We have sit and set. In Scottish English this will be set, set down, set. It's not really it's set, set down. Hat, you hat me, why did you do that? Hey, hat. So it's very similar to the sound, because it's like set, 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 set. Very, very similar. So it's kind of an sound. Next we have the O sound. So in British English it will be go, no. In Scottish English it will be go, no. I don't know what you're doing. Go. British English, go. Scottish English, go. Next we have probably one of the most distinctive sounds in the Scottish accent, which is the ow sound. So for example you have now, found, out. So this will be now, out, found. It's kind of like an ow sound. Get out, out. So it's very, very distinct. It's very different to English, like get out, get out. It's very, very distinct. Another distinctive sound we have is the I sound. So this is in like tight, right, night. So this will be tight, right, night. So it's kind of like an A, which is also like how Scottish people will say yes a lot of the time. A, yeah. It's like saying yes. It's just it's kind of Scots for yes. Say I, which I guess is similar to we have in Old English we have yay or nay. They say I. I believe it comes from the same thing. So it's right, tight, night. And then another distinct sound we have the A sound. So in British English we'd have eight, great, make. In Scottish English, eight, great, make. A. And lastly we have the oo sound. So for example, British English you'd say university. 2. University. 2. So it's like ooh. Very similar. It's more strong, I guess, in the Scottish pronunciation. So there are some other things that are a bit more advanced. Things like some words are stressed differently. Some intonation is different. But this is just a general overview of the sound differences. Of course, if you want to sound more Scottish, you will add words that are unique to Scots. For example, saying the word a instead of yes, or saying instead of saying little, often they say wee. So you could say, for example, it's a wee bit chilly outside, isn't it? So they wouldn't say it's a little bit chilly outside. Chilly meaning cold. It's a wee bit chilly outside. So it's a little bit. Sometimes I guess we could say a little wee, but I don't know. It just means small. So to say little, you say wee. Another common thing you could hear is instead of saying can't, they'd say can't. I can't go. I can't. I'm not sure why this is said. Generally just a slang phrase, I believe. So instead of can't, can't. Alright, so that was that for this video. I hope you liked it, and I'll see you guys later.